Guys, we are going to talk about closing tonight, about having the confidence and the posture for the people that you are connecting with about Isagenix in your follow-up so that you can be efficient and effective in growing your Isagenix business. If you can really hone the skill, practice the skill, work on the skill of closing, your enrollments are going to go way up. And that's really what building this business is all about. Bringing in a group of new people, helping those new people rank advance by bringing in other new people, and then that repetition continues. So we're excited to you. We're actually here in Florida right now with Herb and Patty Cepeda, and every time we're around them, you guys know, we always get inspired to dream bigger, to work smarter, not harder, but smarter, and to really see what network marketing can do for every single person who chooses this path to create an additional income.
Well, and talking about closing, talking about being here in Florida, talking about designing your life, and talking about doing things that are maybe uncomfortable now for the future gain. I just want to shout out everybody that has been posting reels. I've seen more reels in this past week than ever before. And comment, give some feedback in the chats. What has that felt like? What has that felt like to post some reels? I know Kathy sent me a text. She was like, it was really nerve-wracking, liberating. I love that, exciting. So guys, applying this, I hope some people share fun, because it should start getting fun. I mean, it's just a blast. The little voiceovers, you feel kind of silly doing it right at the beginning, but then it's just kind of, it's humorous. And one of the things about closing, getting into it, is not taking ourselves too seriously and not overthinking. In order to increase your effectiveness at closing, you've got to stop thinking, stop processing, and start tapping into your emotional, intuitive side in how you're communicating with other people. And so as you're exercising this new muscle of maybe doing reels and stretching yourself, it's going to attract more conversations. It's going to be starting more, inquiry of what you're doing, what your lifestyle is like, how are you staying healthy, what is the superfood you're talking about, how are you making passive income in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever. And it's not just about having conversations. We are not paid. We are not paid on the amount of conversations we have. We are paid on BV. Okay. And so I say that and everyone's like, okay, that's a really simple thing, but think about it. How oftentimes, maybe either recently or in the past, have you thought to yourself, oh, I've done my 10 reach outs for the day. Oh, I've done my 5 reach outs today. I've done the entrepreneur life today. I'm good. I've done entrepreneurship today and I'm done. I've reached out to people. I've sent birthday messages and I'm done. Be honest. I've done that before. I've done it where I have done my reach outs and I'm like, okay, like entrepreneurship is done. But the reality is that's not what this is about. And so in talking about the skill of closing and talking about really converting these conversations with people heading over to your, Instagram from Reels, your Facebook from Reels, it's converting those conversations into customers or into raving consumers, or even better, into people who also want to share this.
So when it comes to closing, the thing that I've seen work best is the posture of confidence at the very end of the conversation. Confidence is a skill that we should all continue to work on when it comes to your network marketing business. Connecting is a skill. Closing is a skill. Rank advancing is a skill. Skill, when worked on, can be perfected over time. So when it comes to your confidence, when it comes to closing, the only way you're going to continue to perfect that skill is by practicing it. It's by putting your hand to it and committing to the process of saying, I am going to become proficient at closing. So my enrollments go way up. for the rest of 2022?
So I want to share 2 stories really quickly. You guys remember Vanessa. Vanessa, who we had, was our dear waitress at the Chico Malo out in Phoenix. You guys saw that interaction. For those of you who weren't out in Phoenix, we had this amazing young woman who was so vivacious. She was so engaged,
So fun
with the people. And I ended up prospecting her right there. She had an amazing personality. I highlighted that, and it ended up being some great, teaching moments and, real time, real life connecting experiences that happen, very, very frequently. So I got her information. We swapped phone numbers and Instagrams, and we set up a time to talk about PAX a little bit more in depth, because she was working obviously right then and there, so it wasn't the time. So we ended up talking about the PAX. She wanted to start with either the collagen or the skincare. She was pretty sure she wanted to start with the collagen. And I said, great, look, Vanessa, I'd love to help show you how you can get this for free and how you can really go on your music festival lifestyle. She talked while we were working. She said, look, I don't want to do this forever. I'd love to be able to network, travel, and go to music festivals. And I said, really, you'd love to network? Like, you'd love for that to be your job? Okay, if I could show you a way to do that, would that be of interest to you? And would you want to sit down and hear more about that? She said, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And those of you who were there saw how genuine she was, how engaged she was, how excited she was. Well, it turns out I went to go and set up a phone call with her, and she totally ghosted me. Totally ghosted me. And I told you guys I'd keep you updated, so I'm keeping you updated right now. So I had her. I said, hey, we're gonna get on the phone tomorrow at 12. She said, yeah, that works great. It's better for me with my work schedule. I said, awesome. Let's hop on the phone. 12 comes around, nothing. Said, hey, let me know if that Zoom link works for you. Nothing. Texted her an hour later, said, hey, let me know if you want to reschedule. Nothing. So what do you do then? Comment in the chats. What do you do then? Somebody says they're interested, and then they just ghost. What do you do? Now, this isn't something I've always done, but this is something that, who would like to feel more energetically free in their business? Who would like to feel more released? Who would like to let go of people who are clearly letting you know that right now is not the time for them? Instead of sitting there looking at your phone going, oh, man, that I thought they had it. What was it? Was it something I said? Was it? And you mull over it. So she didn't respond to me. So you know what I said? I said, next. I said, she's giving me a clear sign that this is not for her right now. I laid it all out for her. She was super enthusiastic. She met so many people. We gave the story of Dom and Allie. We talked about Derek and Marcielle and Melissa, all these people right there in person. And then she didn't follow up. She totally bailed on the call. And so I just said, next. I said, you know what? Done. We're moving on. I met somebody else named Brooke, and she started talking about how she wanted to lose weight, how she had done keto, released 80 pounds, but it wasn't sustainable for her. And I said, okay, Brooke, if I could show you a way where you could have that pizza and burger and continue to feel great, lose weight, and your body be more optimal in your health, would you be interested in taking a look? She said, absolutely. So we ended up getting on the phone. Long and short, I'll get into more of the details of that in a second. She enrolled instantly. Now, nothing really changed about me, my confidence, my certainty. But one person was very clearly insinuating that they wanted what I had. And the other person was that they didn't, by the fact that they were not responding. And so if somebody's not responding to you, if they're closing the conversation, has anybody had anybody ghost? Everyone's had somebody ghost. Look, if somebody closes the door in the conversation, the best thing you can do is say next. The best thing you can possibly do is say next. What happens is we have all of, hold on, this is continuing to mess up. What can happen is we can have all of these people, we can have all of these lists of people who haven't responded. So we label them as maybes. Come on, who's guilty of that? Who's guilty of that? Come on. They didn't respond. So you go, oh, well, maybe they just don't want it right now. I'll just circle back around. But what happens is you build up an entire pipeline of maybes that takes all of your bandwidth, and you're just circling around these maybes. You're just like a plane that's waiting to land, and you're just circling around these maybes, waiting for one of them to say, oops, I'm sorry, I lost your message, or oops, yep, let me get back to you now that you've messaged me 5 times in 6 months and I haven't expressed any interest whatsoever since our first conversation back last April, but let's talk about it, right? That's just being honest. If we're being honest, that's what we can do. So the number one thing you can do is just release those people entirely. And when somebody gets in a situation in life where they say, you know what, enough is enough, I'm going to reach out to Lane Taylor and I'm going to say, man, now's the time. I know we talked a couple years ago. I know we talked a couple months ago about what you did. I totally blew you off. I'm ready to go. Meanwhile, you haven't wasted any time or energy. So like Odd said, first and foremost, it's confidence. It's confidence. I didn't need Vanessa to join my business. I did not need her whatsoever. She had great people skills. She served well, and she also expressed she wanted something more. So all I did was I shared with her the information, and then I set up a time to share more in depth of the information when it came to the actual business model. And she gave me a clear sign that she does not want this, and what she said doesn't line up. So I'm going to do what? I'm going to believe her. And I'm going to believe the fact that she did not show up for a call we scheduled, and she's not my person right now. Is this helping anybody? Okay, good.
That was a great story. So confidence and having confidence on that phone call or in that Instagram message or over texting or Facebook messaging. When I see people really transition from having a few enrollments here and there to consistently enrolling people, it's because they're direct in the ask. They are direct in the ask. Whether you're on the phone, you're texting, you're sending, through Instagram, through Facebook, it doesn't matter. A direct question. Hey, are you ready to get started? Are you ready to get started? Question mark, wait, pause, silence. What I see a lot of people doing is they'll say, okay, let me know if you're ready to get started, versus flipping it in confidence and saying, hey, I know we just had this conversation. Would you like to get started right now? It's a completely different demeanor. You're being direct in the conversation. You're straight up going for the ask, and confident people go for what they want. Successful people ask for what they want, and they're willing to go after it. So when it comes to closing, I literally will say, hey, are you ready to get started right now? Yes, perfect. I'll send you the link. Here are the 3 different packages. Which one do you want? I'll send you the link. Boom, you can get it right then and there. If they say no, then again, through confidence, I say, okay, well, what other information do you need so that you can get started?
Yeah, but even more, I'll take it even a step further with how, these conversations go. Write this down. Closing starts at the beginning of the conversation. Closing starts with the very first question that you ask. Who has been on a phone call with someone? And you start the phone call, and the goal maybe is to go over packs. The goal is maybe to talk about their goals. The goal is the fact that they reached out to you about your Facebook or your Instagram post and said, hey, I want to know more about what you do and how you do X, Y, and Z. And 30 minutes into the call, you realize you haven't figured out one thing because they've just been talking about your story, because you opened up the question with, hi, how are you? How's your day going? Who's been there? Mm-hmm. You start the conversation with somebody and you go, hey, how are you doing? Yeah, tell me. Okay, how's the day? How's your day going? Are you working right now? Oh, cool. How's work? And you've completely changed what the purpose of that call was. Closing starts with the first question in the conversation. What I mean by that is this. Dom, you reached out to me based off of my post that, my story when I was talking about undenatured whey protein and great quality, shakes. What was it that piqued your interest most about my story? That's a very specific question that is going to lead this conversation into a very specific trajectory. If someone reached out to you and said, hey, look, I see that I see your post, you got paid on Monday. I don't know what this is. My husband and I are struggling. We need to make extra money. You don't say, great, how's the job going? You say, wonderful. what would this extra money do for you in your life right now? And what kind of amounts are we talking about? Closing is about clarity. Closing is about clarity. If somebody comes to you expressing a need, want, or desire, a solution that you can fill via Isagenix, you are doing yourself a disservice if you veer off that and you get into small talk and you get into things that are very irrelevant to what that initial conversation was generated all about.
And refresh.
So when we're starting conversations with people, and I've talked to a couple leaders, voice memos are great, texts are great. You don't have to get on the phone with somebody. However, when you do ask that first question and you do initiate, or you are engaged in that Isagenix conversation, that first question that you ask them is going to set the tone for that final question that Aud was just talking about, of saying, are you at a point where you are ready to make a decision of saying yes to Isagenix? And so being specific, being clear, saying, look, I'm here to help you. I don't have time to sit and, go back and forth for, 17 weeks with everybody who just wants to have small talk and maybe in the midst of a 3-hour conversation, ask one question about shakes. No, we are running a business here. And so say, look, February 1 is starting tomorrow. Talk to me about your health goals. You said you wanted, to get that extra edge in your health. Talk to me a little bit about that. What do you want that to look like? That's a very specific question. Mm-hmm. And then the second thing, well, did you?
No, I forgot my train of thought.
Okay. So then the second thing is when somebody gives you a buy sign, okay? When somebody gives you a buy signal, a buying signal, meaning they're wanting to buy something from you. Becca, I've seen your post. I don't have any energy. Girl, tell me about what you got. That is a buying signal. That means somebody is wanting to buy what you have. So one of the things that we always do, no, I take that back. One of the things that we can often do is we could just word vomit, right? We can send 17 articles and we can say, look, oh my gosh, have you heard of adaptogens? You would absolutely love it. Let me send you a 45-minute video from Dr. Plant. He's amazing. He's a chief science officer. He got his degree at Harvard. He's just he's hilarious too. And he only wears bow ties. It's so funny. He only wears bow ties. Nobody really knows what it's about, but it's great. Anyways, you're going to love it. They came to you asking about energy, and that they gave you a buy signal saying, hey, I want what you have. And we can just go a completely different direction and say, oh yeah. And we're not even realizing we're doing it. And so if somebody says, hey, Becca, look, I've seen your post about energy clarity. Look, these kids are driving me nuts. I need some help. I'll say, okay, what kind of energy are you looking for? And what kind of things are you doing right now for your energy? So I'm figuring out what she's looking for, and I'm figuring out what she's doing right now to combat that solution. She says, well, I'm drinking about a pot of coffee a day, and I'm still dragging myself by noon. At that point, you kick in confidence, you kick in clarity, what Aud has talked about, and you say, okay, look, I can 100% help you, and I know exactly how you feel. We have some all natural energy. What kind of, it sounds like you like to, drink coffee. We have amazing coffee, or we could switch it up and we have all natural, energy drinks. This one girl, Brooke, who I enrolled, she got on and she was talking about weight loss. But then when we started talking more in depth, all she wanted was energy. So I said, look, you really should do a 30-day system, Brooke. I mean, she was doing keto. I was like, look, you should do a 30-day system. That's going to be the best thing for you, to be quite honest. I've been doing this for a while. She said, and I could feel, this is where the intuition comes in. I could feel that she was a little overwhelmed with that. And she was like, I don't know, like this, it just kind of feels like a lot to me. I said, okay, Brooke, well, what would feel great to you? What would be exciting for you and feel really free? She said, well, I'd love the BIAs, I'd love the collagen, and I'd love the pre-workout. I said, great. You're going to get the Beauty Glow bundle. We're going to get you a case of BIAs and a canister of pre-workouts. You want to throw any shakes in there? Do you want to do a cleanse, or does that sound good for the first month? She said, what, that feels really good. I said, great. I'm going to create your recommended cart and I'm going to send it over to you right now. So I wasn't first off pigeonholing her into one system, saying that she had to do a 30-day system, because she was expressing to me that was a little bit overwhelming for her at this very present moment. Now I know here in months 2, 3, 4, 5, she's going to do a 30-day system and she's going to love it. And she's
a bomb personality.
And she's probably going to say, I get how I could have done that in the beginning. However, it was too overwhelming for me now. But that certainty, when she started to insinuate she needed energy, I gave her our energy solutions. I said, look, we got things like Ionic Supreme, Abia, E-Shots. And if you work out, you're going to love the pre-workout, because she already mentioned to me that she likes pre-workout. So it's listening, it's filling that need, and then it's responding with certainty. And like Aud was saying, leaving it up to them.
Yeah.
Saying, do you have enough information to make a decision right now? Does this sound like a good pack for you?
You know, in every conversation that we have, we should continue to get better at being direct with our question asking, and then taking a moment to pause and to listen. So if you want to become an effective connector, get really great at asking questions and listening. If you want to be a great closer, you want to close more sales, you want to close more customers, then become proficient at asking direct questions and leading the conversation and where you want to go. What I love about this profession is it attracts all different types of people. I mean, look at every person who's on this call right now. You've got some that are single, some that are engaged, some that are married, some with no children, some with children, all different ages, early 20s, 60s. You have all different ages, all different types of people who are figuring out how this business is working for them. You are not to be a copy-paste clone of James and Audrey. We are not to be a copy-paste clone of Herb and Patty. Because quite honestly, I'm not Herb and Patty. As amazing as they are at closing, I can utilize and learn the skills that they've taught me. Learn the skills that they taught me and put my own spin to it by practicing and perfecting my skill. So to close more people, to bring a new class into your organization, confidence and directness of asking the question, are you ready to get started with me? Pausing. That question I learned from Herb and Patty years ago, and I've never strayed from it. Now, we're different people. I hear them talking, I hear them closing, but the skills remain. The skills remain. I am a different person though, and I can use my God-given wiring to work my business and to connect with people in a way that nobody else can. Likewise, all of you on this call can do the same thing. But in your conversations, what I've seen, and I've even been working really closely with Allie because she's been our nanny for so long, we talk about isogenics all the time. She's really worked on honing this skill, and she's shifting her conversations to where she and Dom are having some of the most amazing business conversations that they've done because they've been very direct with asking specifically for the things that they want, especially when it comes to closing. So let's just say this for a second, because I will get in a really great conversation. In fact, I got on a really great phone call just a couple days ago, and the person on the call wasn't ready to get started. So you ask the question, well, what other information do you need in order to get started with isogenics? I mean, ask that question, because it puts you in the position of the leader. It puts you in the position of offering and knowing exactly what you have, knowing that you have the gold, and it will cause the person on the other end to be forced to answer the question because you have all the tools in your toolkit to be able to assist them. Well, I'd really like to maybe understand the compensation plan more. Great. If I got on another Zoom call with you and showed you the compensation plan, would that be what it is that you're looking for to make an educated decision? Remember how I always say there's a solution to every problem. So all we're doing is using our confidence in asking the questions to move people forward in the direction of joining your team. But just like James said, if somebody isn't ready and they're not willing, then it's moving on to the person that is. But your posture, as soon as you get on that phone call, or as soon as you open up that Instagram message, or as soon as you send that voice memo, is going to be the energetic frequency that carries throughout the entire conversation all the way until the close.
Write this down in bold, big, underline, circle it. Be unattached. Be unattached completely. We can get attached to people. Some of you on the line, I know you're attached to people. You want this one person to join your business, and you've romanticized maybe what it could be, what they could do, how their network. Oh my goodness, if they just did this, if they just love the products, and you're attached. That is attachment. And anytime you're attached to somebody, what you're doing is you're giving that person power over you and whatever success that you want to have in this business. And the reality of it is, we all get to define what success looks like, and we all get to have whatever level of success we are willing to have. And what I mean by that, when I say what we're willing to have, is because it is a service. It is a willingness to reach out and stretch and become uncomfortable. And it is a willingness to let people go who are clearly signaling to you that they're not ready right now. And so in all of this, you hear, I love, how we get the training of Herb and Patty saying, look, bless and release. You're not wishing ill on anybody. You're not saying all good riddance. I hope da. No, you're just saying, bless and release. It's not your time. But who would love to feel that all of your energy is actually going towards propelling life-giving, direct conversations with people who are actually looking for either health or financial solutions? You guys, there are millions of people leaving the workforce right now. Millions of them. And we have something. So what if you really did become unattached? And maybe tonight is going to be a night where, we're going into February 1 tomorrow, and you just let go. You just become unattached from everybody who you energetically have been attached to, that they have not said yes to joining you in this business. And you release them, believing wholeheartedly with confidence and clarity that there are people, not just people, but multitudes of people who are ready to absolutely crush it. Raise your hand if you believe that there are people in your world who are ready to absolutely crush 2022. There are. But if we spend the time looking only at the people who we wish would be in our business, and we don't focus on the other people, who we haven't even connected with, because we're working from a much lower frequency energetically. We're working from a place of, we're working from a place of rejection. If you're still attached from other people saying no to you or not saying yes, you're working and building from a place of rejection. And that's just a hard place to build business. It's a really hard place to build. We have such a gift here. We have such a gift with Isagenix. And closing is about clarity. It's about saying, look, this is what this is all about. You reached out to me because of X, Y, and Z, or I reached out to you because I know you, you're, charismatic. You've always been into making extra streams of income, X, Y, and Z. If I sent you, would you take a look? If I would, you boom. And then you just move forward. And if they ghost you, release. Right. And you don't just release in your mind and say, oh, bless and release. You emotionally release it as well. And you just become unattached, because your connections are going to increase. People who join your business and join your organization is going to increase, because you're going to be able to do it more efficiently and not say, hey, I had an amazing entrepreneur day because I sent 40 messages. But you're going to say, hey, I had 7 high quality, high intentional conversations with people in my network today. And they are one step closer either to a yes or a no. And I don't care which one it is. I'm just wanting to get them to that place so I can know and keep moving forward.
Yeah. So guys, take these lessons, take these things that James and I are continue to learn to move and implement in your business, to close people so you can bring them into your organization and lead them well. We've just finished the first month of 2022. And guys, we're ripping. Things are happening. You guys are growing. My Penny app is blowing up from all of the things that are going on, the rank advancements and the new customers. And so implement this, because whatever you do, it will energetically trickle throughout your organization and your downline. So implement these things into your close to teach your organization that, to lead other people well, and you're going to see an increase in your business.
Last thing I want to say, Last thing, when you start moving with more certainty, you attract people with more certainty. When you start moving with more confidence, you start attracting people with more confidence. That's what you are wanting. If you're wanting to receive it in your business, it starts by you saying, this is how I'm going to start putting myself out there in the world. So with that, let's go out with a willingness and an excitement to put ourselves out, to be unattached, to be confident and clear, and help serve more people. February 1 starts tomorrow. It's absolutely wild, but what a year it has already been. And we will see you guys on this call, same time next week. Good night, everybody.
Bye.